Buying a brand new home in the 55 plus community of Victory at Verrado is a decision that hundreds of people make every month. What are the pros to doing this? What are the differences of buying a brand new home to buying a resale home? What are the differences between all 5 of the different builders that work in this community? In this video, I am going to answer all of those questions. Without further ado, let's get started. If you are watching this video, I am assuming that you know what the community of Victory at Verrado is. I have a complete video that is a full community tour. I've got multiple videos on this community, pros and cons, community tours, comparing it to other communities. I'll have these videos linked in the description of this video. I'll give you a brief overview of the community before I talk about these brand new homes. Victory at Verrado is a 55 plus community, just about 35 minutes from the airport. It's got a very modern clubhouse that is age restricted to adults only. It also has a secondary clubhouse that you have access to in the all ages section of the neighborhood that is more kid oriented. So if you had kids come into town, they would use that clubhouse, while this other Victory clubhouse is restricted only to adults. They have 2 golf courses within the community, probably the best state-of-the-art fitness center I have seen in any of these age-restricted communities at the Victory clubhouse. They've also got 3 very nice outdoor pools along with a lap pool. Very, very scenic clubhouse. It's perched up on top of this hill. And when it comes to luxury, Victory's clubhouse is definitely one of the top 3 clubhouses in any age-restricted community. Another nice perk about Victory at Verrado is every block of about 50 homes is assigned a park within the community. And these parks put on all different kinds of events and really make for a community within a community type of feel. It's very easy to get involved socially here in Victory. And finally, the most unique part about Victory at Verrado compared to other 55 plus communities is the Main Street area. You get on your golf cart and you drive about 1.5 miles down the road and you are in Verrado's Main Street area, where they have a courtyard where all of these different events go on. The street is lined with all of these bars, restaurants, shops. It's just a very nice area, and to have something like that so close to your community is something that no other community has. Okay, that is your brief overview of Victory at Verrado. Again, you can go and watch my full community tour. That video is linked in the description of this video. If you're interested in any of the other 55 plus communities in the valley, I have a complete and free 55 plus community guide. It includes all 40 of the different communities here within the greater Phoenix area, so that you know you're not missing out on any of them. As a map plotting them all out, a 1-page summary, and a spreadsheet at the end to compare all of the different HOA fees, home prices, and numbers that would be important to you before moving into one of these communities. So if you would like that resource, shoot me a text, call, or email, and I can send it your way. Now let's start talking about these brand new homes here in Victory at Verrado. When you're starting your new home search here in Victory, you'll see that there are 5 active builders within the community, which is very different compared to some other communities where they only have 1 builder built throughout the entire community. They've had actually up to 8 different builders here in Victory at Verrado, but there are only 5 that are currently building. If you would like more information on the current builders that are building in the community, all the way from, how large the floor plans they're building are, how many home sites they currently have available, what kind of flexibility they have, do they do ground up builds, do they only do spec built ready to move in homes? If you'd like all of that information, reach out for my Victory at Verrado Builders Guide. It has a 1-page summary on each of the builders, goes over kind of all of their stats from price ranges to floor plans, information that would be important to you when doing your new home search. Reach out to me, shoot me an email or a text, and I can send it your way. Definitely a unique resource I have not seen out there before, and I think it could really help you out when you're doing your new home search. Let's start by talking about Taylor Morrison. Taylor Morrison is kind of known for building that 2,200 to 2,800 square foot home, so kind of on the larger side. They have a few different models that are really nice. The Appaloosa is a unique one. It has this courtyard in the middle of the home. It's a very beautiful home. Now, one thing to know not only about Taylor Morrison, but about all of the builders, is we are currently in phase 9 of the community, and phase 10 is planning to be opened up sometime in 2026. Taylor Morrison only has about 15 more lots in phase 9, and they sold all of their phase 10 lots off to David Weekley, which I'll talk about here in a second. So these are going to be the last homes built by Taylor Morrison, which is kind of a surprise to a lot of the residents because they've been building in there for a while. The builder they sold these lots off to, David Weekley, has always been known as kind of the tip-top builder in there. They really only built these 3,000 square foot, very luxurious estates on these large lots. And now that Taylor Morrison sold them these kind of smaller lots, David Weekley has a ton of new models releasing in this phase 10 that are going to be in that 2,500 square foot range. David Weekley has always been a very high quality builder, with a lot of their floor plans really only starting in that $1 million price range. So for them to have some floor plans that will be starting in that $700,000 to $800,000 price range, kind of taking over that void that Taylor Morrison is leaving as they exit the community. The next builder I want to talk about is KHOV. Now KHOV is a very well-rounded builder within Victory at Verrado, and what I mean by that is they have a lot of variation in their floor plans. They just released their 4 seasons at Victory at Verrado cottages and villas, which are about 1,300 square feet, and they run for just about $380 to $410. And these are just very good ways to enter into the community. What I mean by that, it's an entry-level home. It's going to be about 1,300 to 1,500 square feet, and it's going to have a pretty small 10 to 15 foot backyard. What I mean by that is from the back of your patio to the wall is only going to be about 10 feet. So a lot of people like these just for a winter home. They don't need a large yard with a lot of maintenance, or they like it as just an entry-level home, just to get into the community of Victory at Verrado. They know they like the location, the main street, the clubhouse, and all of that, but they don't want to spend, $700,000, $800,000 on a home in there. They just want to buy one of these cottages, which is very fair. They have kind of single-family style cottages, and they also have villa styles where they have one attached wall with the neighbor. Both can be a very budget-friendly way to get into the community. KHOV is actually running a really great incentive on those cottages and villas. Currently, they are running a 5% interest rate fixed for 30 years. The standard interest rate right now is hovering around, 6.8, 6.9. So for it to be 5.9 for 30 years is great, but they're also buying you a 2-1 buy down as well. So for that first year, you're going to have a 2.9% interest rate, then it goes up to 3.9, and then you go to that 4.99 rate for the rest of your mortgage. Maybe you weren't planning on getting a mortgage on one of these homes. They would just equate that into cash off the price, but this is a really great interest rate because interest rates are high right now. So to get a 4.99 fixed for 30 years and a 2-1 buy down those first couple of years is really a great promotion on a very well priced home as well. But KHOV also has larger models that get up to about 2,300 square feet, and they have some really nice floor plans. My personal favorite is the Cardinal. It has this really large 8 foot by 8 foot kitchen island, a really open floor plan, really great for hosting with that huge island feeding right into kind of your living and entertainment room. It sets for a nice scene. Now, William Ryan I've always referred to as kind of that mid-range builder here at Victory at Verrado. They build homes just slightly larger than those cottages and villas, but just a little bit smaller than those large luxury estates. They kind of work in that 1,500 to 1,900 square foot range, and none of their homes really sell for over $600,000. They kind of work in that $500,000 to $600,000 range. They've got a floor plan that you can even add an attached casita on. So to have something with an attached mother-in-law suite, kind of a next-gen suite in that $500,000 price range is really a great deal here in Victory at Verrado. Now let's talk about Landsea Homes, which is definitely the most budget-friendly builder here in Victory at Verrado. They build some single-family homes, but they're mostly known for their duplex-style homes, which are about 1,300 square feet, and those go for about $360,000. Now, the most unique thing that Landsea does here in the community is if you were to go out and look at all the lots and see a spec-built home they were having built nearing completion, maybe it's about 2-3 months out from completion, but they haven't put in the design center options yet, they would actually allow you to put that home on hold and choose out the design center options for yourself. That's something that not a single other builder in the community does. If you find another home that's already being built and they already have the options picked out for that home, they will not let you change it. They will install that stuff and you'll have to make those changes after you buy the home. Whether that's flooring, cabinets, or countertops, other builders will not allow you to change these. But Landsea will actually let you go to the design center and change these things before closing if it's a home that they're already building. Of course, if it's a custom ground up build, any builder will let you choose whatever you want, but this is more specific to those homes that they have already started building and have already chose those options for. So Landsea is really in most competition with KHOV's cottages and villas. Those are the two that kind of go back and forth to see which one you like more on. KHOV's are a little bit more expensive, but they are a little bit nicer when it comes to the interior finishes. Landsea has some great deals. You can't really get anything else in this community for less than $400,000 if it's not a Landsea home. So deciding which one is better for you if you are looking for just kind of an entry-level home here in Victory at Verrado, it's going to be between Landsea and KHOV. Moving on up to that kind of mid-range style home, 1,500 to 1,900 square feet, really the best builder for you is going to be William Ryan. KHOV might also have some other options that might be worth taking a look at, like my personal favorite floor plan in the entire community, the Cardinal I was talking talking about earlier. And now with Taylor Morrison leaving the community, it really does just come down to William Ryan and K-Hob if you're looking for kind of that next step up from the entry-level home. And then, of course, the king of them all, David Weekley, is still building those luxury-style estates, and going into phase 10, they are still going to have those around as well. If you want all of this information on a guide, breaking down each builder, how many lots they currently have available, please feel free to reach out. I have that free Victory Builders guide that I can send over to you. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is resale homes. Here in Victory at Verrado, there are a lot of great resale homes that often sell faster than these new builds. Why is that? Well, on resale homes, the pool has already been put in if you want to put a pool in. Pools cost about $50,000 to $60,000 to install here in Arizona, which is quite pricey. You're also going to have to do all of the back landscaping if you purchase a brand new home. They will not do that for you. And a lot of people that I've helped in the past do not like purchasing a brand new home and then having to spend all this money on landscaping, lighting fixtures that the builder does not include, and just doing kind of post-market upgrades. They want to add an accent wall, and they just don't like the idea of spending a lot more money on a home that they've already bought brand new. However, a lot of people still buy these brand new homes. They really are great bang for your buck, and building ground up and customizing the home to your actual taste is something that you just cannot get in a resale home. So it really does come down to your personal preference. Are you going to be okay with buying a brand new home and then still putting some money into it after you've purchased it? Or would you rather buy a resale home that already has the landscaping done, and sure, maybe the paint in this room or the size of this room isn't quite what I like, but I don't mind spending some money after I buy a resale home. I really don't want to spend money on a brand new home after I've already paid that premium of purchasing a brand new home. One thing I want to keep in mind is that when you go into these sales offices, those builder reps, I've worked with them a lot in the past. They're great people, but they do work for the builder. They don't have your best interest in mind. When you sign that waiver walking in, it says you are representing yourself now and that the builder does not have to work in your best interest. Using a real estate agent like myself, I've worked with these reps in the past. I can typically get my clients some extra incentives off just because I bring my clients in there so often. So I'd be happy to help you buy a brand new home if that is something that you are looking into. Like I mentioned, these reps are great people. I've worked with them a lot in the past, and I've kind of built a relationship with them. The builder is going to end up paying me. You won't have to pay me anything. And since I bring in my clients so often, I can get you a few extra incentives thrown in on there. So reach out to me for my Victory at Verrado Builders Guide, breaking down each of these builders. Also, if you're looking at maybe some other age-restricted communities, I've got that free 55+ community guide that breaks down all of them so you know you're not missing out on any of them. My name is Caden Leali. I'm a licensed real estate agent here in the greater Phoenix area. If you're planning a move out here, I'm happy to help you out, and I will see you in the next video.